up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of the Trio Talk with your girl Jai, X, and Tristan Oliver themselves. And today's topic is ladies first, because it is Women's History Month, and
yeah.
we're just gonna get right into the honoring
Straight to
of ladies, womanhood.
Yep.
So I just want to go right into the woman that inspires me in my personal life, and that's my mom.
I think that's for all of us.
Yeah, man.
My mama too, straight up.
Hey, Mom.
Straight.
My mom is a mother, a teacher, and a go-getter. She's super inspirational. She goes for what she desires, and her field is education, and she's been going for it ever since she's been clear, which she told me she's always wanted to be a teacher since she was like 13 years old. So here she is, in her 40s, and she's tackling on everything. She's getting her PhD now, her doctorate, I should say, in education.
Wow.
And she's like a leader of a few teachers in DC, and she inspires me every single day with my choices.
I would just say that for sure. We got to show more appreciation to the women, especially publicly, because I don't think that our women or the women in our lives get the respect that they should be getting publicly. So from your mother, your sister, to your friends, so on and so forth.
Yeah, I watched the feminism movement documentary that's on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, go ahead and watch it. But it's definitely cool it talks about the battles that women went through and the rise of freedom of expression as a woman. Because there's a lot of expectations that are placed on women, as we all know, and as far as how we look, how we talk, how we dress. And that video is just about the fight of, and it's funny because it feels like we're always fighting, but the journey that it took for us to get to a place where we can have women with short hair, long hair, that are sex positive, to classy with the suits on,
Twerking.
Okay.
I like
Closing $1 million deals and stuff in a board meeting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this goes hand in hand. This goes hand in hand.
My woman of inspiration that's from the past that I actually want to touch on too is Audre Lorde. She's a writer, a feminist. She was gay, so she was all about speaking for the rights of sexuality, and she was black, and she was a lot of categories, but regardless, she got her message across. And I've seen her name around a few times, and I just did some more research on her recently, and I was just like, wow, like, now we don't have to go through that anymore as far as women, as far as showing up a certain way, because I feel like with symbolism, like what Ron was talking about, with symbolism with Kamala Harris being in office, there's less pressure for women now, because we feel like there's a level of equality with women and men now, because we have a woman that's in the office.
I want to add on it. I think, like I said, with the symbolism thing, and I think that Kamala Harris being in office is definitely going to open up a lot of doors, or has been opening up a lot of doors for a lot of women that has a lot of great gifts, talents, that's going to put them in power. So definitely it's going to be a big year and beyond moving forward for women, not just women of color, but just women in general. So
Women in power.
yeah,
That's it. Women in political power. Women in the business world. It's really amazing how women are truly in my opinion, the biggest motivator for men, and a sense of self-growth, being, settling down, having a family, you know what I mean? Business growth, making more money, you know what I mean? So you can attract whatever type of woman you want to attract, you know what I mean? These things, the motivations are from women. Like this is the drive. You know what I mean? And I feel if any man says that, oh no, man, women don't motivate me to do this, you're lying. You're lying.
I would say the right woman. I was gonna say the right woman.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say the right woman. Not all women.
Not all, but
not all women. The right women.
Cause my whole thing is, look, man, look. All right. You first of all, you were single, bro. Okay. One point in your life, you were single.
I am single right now.
Okay, you were single. You were.
Not for
you know
too
what I mean?
long,
like I'm pretty sure that there's gonna be 20-year-olds, young teens, whatever someone that comes across this episode.
Right.
Listen, whatever you're doing this for, you're buying that whip. You know, you're doing all this You're doing this for a woman, okay? You're doing this for attention from a woman, and you gotta admit that to yourself in order for you to grow. You got to. Now just take that motivation that you want for yourself and just reconfigure that, right? And drive that into the person that you want to be, and that will attract the woman that is fit for your life and your lifestyle. Don't go out and seek it. Work on being the best version of yourself, men to attract the woman that's set for your life to continue to progress.
I mean, it is said.
That's my take.
It is said that he who finds a good wife, a good woman, finds a good thing, right? Something like that. Something along those lines. Don't quote me, but I've heard that before.
Somebody said it.
He who finds a good girl, good woman, finds a good thing. So, hey, I think there is some truth to that. And I would say this firsthand. Look, I do get motivated by the right women, you know, such as my mother, my sister, my niece, because I want to be better for them, you know, because they've been there for me. And so for me in return, I want to go all out. I want to make sure I put my best self out there so I can get the best results, so that way they get showered with everything that they want, desire, need, whatever the case may be. So yeah, to a certain extent, there's some truth in that statement. There's some truth in that.
There's some truth.
You know,
there's some truth.
Yeah, it goes beyond like even intimate relationships. The woman in the business world is probably the most needed. The feminine energy of being organized, creativity. So even business, like you said, with your family, I'm sure everybody here got a mom that you know you would love to see you succeed. And, you know, regardless of whatever the situation is with your families. And that segues into the idea of women and how there are 252 million women in the world that are entrepreneurs.
That's nasty.
Raise them up.
That's a lot.
Raise them up.
That's a lot.
Raise them up. That's a lot.
That's a lot. So
that's a lot.
And we got one of the 252 right here. Just so y'all know, we got one of the 252 right here. As a matter of fact, we got one behind the camera too. We got one of the 252 behind the camera right now. So
women carrying the torch, man. They always have.
Yeah. So
they always have.
252 million in the world. 40% of women in the U.S. 40% of people that are business owners in the
U.S. in the United States are women. And out of that 40%, 20% of them are black. You know?
And minorities.
So,
half of the female entrepreneurs in the United States of America are black and are minorities, which is really amazing.
And again, we got two of them right here in this room, present. You understand me? So I mean, this year and beyond. I mean, y'all see it already. Like I said, the Kamala Harris thing is gonna be, for symbolism wise, giving especially young girls something to look up to and see. They're gonna aspire to be like that. It's gonna motivate them. It's gonna drive them to be in position of power. So, with that being said, it's only up from here. So
only way is up.
Yeah, so my shout out to the women that are out there that are trying to start their own business or they're starting their own business. And if you're hesitant about starting your own business, know that there are other female entrepreneurs out there that are working to the same goals. And yeah, like you were saying, it is definitely creating is a stamp for future generations, because my 6-year-old sister literally just drew a piece today saying, I'm going to be the next president.
So in other words, giving hope, right, to the next generation of women that, hey, it's possible. I mean, anything's possible. I remember at one point they was saying that there would never be a black president, right? They were saying that, and that came into fruition.
They also said there would never be a woman vice president.
So then that came into fruition. So the only thing that's left really is that the possibilities of women being a president is can happen, and possibly will happen either in our lifetime or after our lifetime. Who knows?
And ultimately, all we want is respect. Everybody wants is respect. But now more than ever, women are receiving that, and I think it's time for us to just see what it's like to have a woman lead. And we've had plenty of time with masculine energy being in charge, and here we are. And I feel like one good thing about women is it's all about fertility. They bring life to the world. Being a woman in America feels like there's a responsibility to instill compassion, expression, humanity in everything. Because if everything has become so fast-paced and in the go mode and doingness of things, and that's the masculine energy, and the feminine principle is about, going with the flow of things. Of course, there's organization and there's, a touch of feng shui in there. But overall, it's for the betterment of others, because that's what a lot of what women is. It's carrying others, supporting others, lifting others, picking you up when you feel like you're low. Some people don't have that in their homes, but I know that women have that, weight of being being the home for people, being safe for others. For me, as myself, it's been, a battle of, having to prove something. And now, in this generation, it's less about that and just being who I am through everything. Through my entrepreneurship, through my relationships, and through my leadership as a woman in the community. And because it's, and just, just being and practicing that, and just not feeling so pressured anymore. And that's kind of where I'm feeling, where it's been up until this point. And in 2021, with looking at these statistics and feeling that, it's definitely monumental.
And I'll just add to that in regards to, women, especially women in my life, such as my mom, my sister, my niece, even my cousins. I've noticed, even growing up, they've been very protective of me, right? Always. It don't matter. Even the women that I've met in my life, we create a connection where they're very protective of me, and they want the best for me. I've yet met a woman who don't want the best for me, or who don't see a light in me. And at least from my experience, now I notice not everything's perfect. I get that, but for the most part, the women in my life has always had my best interest at heart. And if anybody messed it up, I probably messed it up. So with that being said, I feel like I have an obligation to, first and foremost, respect the women in my life. Started with my mom, my sister, my niece, and even my cousins. When I say these so overprotective, man, they'll snap. They be ready to snap. They be ready to jump on anybody about me. And so for me, I feel I get to do the same thing in return. So I'm always on this big brother mode, when I'm with Jai, or even when I'm with, women in my life. I gotta protect them because they've always protected me, But nonetheless, like I said, I feel like I have to protect them. I get to be there for them. I get to support them. I get to uplift them. I get to respect them and things of that nature. So that's where I'm at right now when it comes to the women in my life, and any woman that's in particularly in my space, especially if I care about you. So yeah, that's my take on that when it comes to the women. You feel me? Shout out to y'all. One time for y'all. Yeah.
One time for the one time. One time for the one time. Well, being someone that was raised by a single mother, I really think that there's a different understanding of men that are raised by a a single mom. We understand the strength. We understand the determination. We understand the emotional understanding of a woman when they're in a place of, I don't want to say of desperation, but there's a place of
Fighting for their spawn.
yes, in a sense of like just having to figure things out, just having to figure life out. You know, like I'm not a parent. You know what I mean? So, but I do see that from people that have children, that it's hard. It's hard to raise kids with both parents.
Mm-hmm. Let alone one.
Let alone just one. You know what I mean? And just from that aspect alone, you have to have a level of appreciation and gratitude and love and honor for women, because the weight that they carry from their own personal side, the societal side too, just being a woman, it's a lot. It's truly a lot. I honestly feel like you can only see it from the outside, but the internal, not war, but the
Conflict.
I honestly couldn't. I can't imagine the internal work that it takes, but I can acknowledge it and support it if I'm ever needed to, because I understand just from an experience of it. And there are numerous women out there like that, that live happy. You know, they have their own businesses. Their families are healthy. You know, taken care of, well mannered. You know, it's just like, and they live happy lives. And just the acknowledgement of a woman's strength, I think, is what needs to be addressed. Because honestly, it's unmatched, man. It's unmatched. It's unmatched. I don't care like how much benching you could do, how much, how long you can stand outside in the heat for Yo, you don't understand what it means to be a woman. Guys, we don't. Like, you know what I mean? So, but we do understand what hard work looks like. We do understand what grit, we do understand what perseverance, we do understand what trauma is. And just off of that, us being as men, we need to be a woman's strongest support system. And I think that's our duty.
Yeah.
Not only as a provider, but as being a strong support system for their emotions and their mental state.
Yeah, I mean, I think me and Ron could definitely relate to the single mom thing, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I feel, and this kind of ties into what we were talking about earlier, as far as feeling like, we have to struggle. Because I saw it growing up, too. Like, I was expected to struggle and have a hard time with being an entrepreneur and succeeding in this world. And but the good thing about my mother and the way that I was raised with her, it was something that needed to happen for me to be more humble about being a woman. It's not about, oh, I'm a woman, I should be treated with royalty. And I mean, yes, I should, but not in a place of arrogance, just from a place of, I know I've seen it firsthand. And coming from a place of gratitude of all the the tools that are accessible to us now so that we can be successful.
And I would say this, yeah, my mom was a single mother for at least, 14 years, 15 years. And my stepdad, who I consider my dad, on the outside looking in, I know there's some good men out there. So I want to shine some light on the men who protect, acknowledge, provide for their women. And my dad has been doing that for his wife for 15 plus years. So I know it's possible. I know what it looks like firsthand. And I know that he appreciates her. And so, because, hey, like I said, like Tristan said, we men don't know what it feels like to be a woman. We can only see it on the outside looking in. So with that being said, we get to acknowledge their strength, and we get to respect them, we get to honor them, we get to be there for them, not just physically, but also emotionally and mentally at times. Anything else?
Nah, I'm just taking it all in right now.
Yeah.
That's it. It's Women's History Month.